In this video I'm going to explain how Betfair works, and it's going to be done on pen and paper, which may be slightly unusual to you, but I think this will make things make far more sense. It'll be far less cluttered and we can focus on one thing at a time. So now the first thing you have to understand in order to understand Betfair is what the numbers actually mean. And these are decimal odds. So say we have 1.00. That simply means you get your money back. So say you are making a bet on whether the sun is going to rise in the morning, well, you probably offered odds of 1.00. So it means if the sun rises, you get your money back. There would be no point adding anything to that. Say something was maybe 50-50 chance of it happening, then the odds would be around 2.00. The bookmaker build a margin into that, but that would mean double your money. So you get your bet back plus double your bet. And we'll do a calculation and you'll see exactly how this works. So say you bet, let's say $10 at 2.00. So you would get $20 back. So times that by that, but your bet is $10, so we have to subtract that. So we're left with $10, 20 minus 10, and that is the profit. And the simple formula we can use is that profit, you perhaps already spotted this formula, is the odds minus 1 times the bet. And why does Betfair use these decimal odds instead of fractional odds? Well, they're not a bookmaker and they're a market, so these odds can move in very small amounts, particularly on very big markets like the final of the World Cup. Those odds could be moving in this decimal place here, so hundreds can change. This could be 2.52 and that could move to 2.53. Whereas with fractional odds you would end up with extraordinarily bizarre fractions like 293 over 741. That's perhaps a bad example, but you would end up with fractions that look very disgusting. So they don't use them, they use these. Okay, so let's look at the exchange. Let's come across here. So on the exchange, what you'll see is something that looks like, you can see some number here, then a number, another number, and then some other numbers off to the sides here. And these will be the nice coloured in ones. So these will be in blue, and these ones will be in pink. And this side here is the back side. So you can draw a line down here, and on the other side we have lay. And I'll show you how lay bet works. This is the key difference between a normal bookmaker and Betfair. So in here you've got these you can think of as unmatched. In order to have a bet, someone has to take, there's an N in there, unmatched, someone has to take the opposite side of the bet. So if someone bets against it, someone has to bet on it, and they meet those two together. And these represent an average. So the average rate that they're betting. So if you select these bets will not be matched immediately. You'll have to wait for someone to match it. Whereas these are ones people have already put in. So you can match these straight away. So you can also edit these. So you can put this in and say you want a certain odds and your thing will appear here or be matched later. And there's no guarantee, so if you decided you don't want to back it at 7.8, you want 7.2, you could put that in and wait for the odds to change to what you want. Now, let's move on to another sheet and explain the concept of a lay bet. Lay bet is absolutely fundamental to Betfair. So, let's take an example. You accept is the key word here, the bet. So let's take an example. Say you accept a bet of $10 at, say, odds of 12.00. And let's just say that Team A wins. So you've accepted a bet on Team A winning at the odds of 12 exactly. So the return, if it wins, this is showing you some of the dangers of being too lax with Betfair, would be 12 times 12 times $10, that's the bet. So that's going to be $120. You can subtract off the bet, because remember they've given you that £10 and you're returning that, or sorry, $10. So the difference between that is $110 and that's your loss. So if you accept the bet and they win the bet, you're going to lose all of that money. Whereas on the other hand, if team A, this is at win, and this is it loses, then you're going to keep $10 minus the commission. Betfair charges a commission on winning bets, and this is typically 5%, so you would end up with about $9.50. There is a premium charge, and you have to watch out for this. If you're too successful on Betfair, they charge a lot of money. Some people have seen charges up to 60%, so be careful. If the commissions you're paying and your winnings don't match up, Betfair wants in on your game and they want a bigger cut. So be careful of that. The other warning I'll make is, you see, if you're just randomly betting, it's maybe a 50-50 chance. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So your capital would, in the absence of fees, your capital would just look like this. You're winning half the time, losing half the time. It's just adding up to nothing. Whereas with fees, what's happening is the money you're paying Betfair is going up and up and up and up, whereas your capital is slowly going down. So this is commission, and eventually it'll just go to nothing. And Betfair will end up with lots and lots of money. And this is capital. So don't get carried away. Be very careful what you're doing and keep good books. Remember, Betfair isn't some instant make loads of money. It is still a gambling platform. It is a bookmaker. Well, it's an exchange, but it's similar in some regards to a bookmaker in that you are placing bets, you're betting money. So be careful with it. For academic interest, Betfair is quite a fascinating business model. So hopefully Betfair now makes a lot more sense to you, and I hope you've enjoyed this. I'd rather you took it for academic interest as opposed to anything else, but so that's everything I've got for you today. Thank you for watching.